You ready? Sorry, I gotta make sure I look okay real quick. You look great, by the way. All right.
Thank you.
All right, so hi everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for my friend Kenyanda. Can you say hi, Kenyanda?
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing?
So Kenyanda is my friend, my neighbor. She's my tax preparer, by the way. If you guys need your taxes done, right now is the time. Kenyanda is, can you say the name of your tax business?
Right now, I work with a company called Redeem. So if you need your taxes redeemed, your life redeemed, or your finances, we are the peoples and persons that you contact.
Beautiful. Okay, so Kenyanda has been kind enough to allow me to do a transit reading for her for the new moon in Aries. And what we're going to do real quick is I am going to share screen so that you can see the charts. I'm going to go over the general portion of the reading, which talks about the new moon in Aries and how that's, you know, not going to, but possibly could affect everyone in general, mainly the people who are in the Los Angeles area. So if you're outside of the Los Angeles area, you're going to want to adjust for the time zone that you are in to know exactly when the new moon will be happening in your area. So again, I'll be going over the general portion of the reading first, and then we're going to go into your personal transit reading. And so for those watching, the personal transit reading portion of this is just to help those people who are kind of new to astrology, but they understand enough about their natal chart that they now want to learn how to look at the transits in their chart and understand, you know, how do you interpret it? How do you find them in your chart, and how do you interpret how it may affect you? So, okay, you ready for this?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's hit share screen. So give me 1 second. I was actually trying to share another video, so I have to hit present on this real quick to get it to look right. There we go. Okay. So this particular chart, now when you're looking at this video, and the little square that has my camera feed, is that covering the words that I have here on the screen?
So because I'm on my phone and not on my laptop, you're like high in the right area, and then I see your whole transit chart, and then what I'm doing is just zooming in so I can read what the words say. Okay. And then I'll go to the left to see what the chart actually looks like.
Okay, great, because that's something I was worried about when I was creating this in Canva. I wasn't sure. I know with the video that I'm trying to post today, the little feed, it was covering up the words. So hopefully we got it right this time. So as you can see, first of all, can you see my little blue cursor here?
Let me see. Yes, I can.
Okay. So what I'm circling here, this is the actual new moon. And so that is the sun right here. This is the moon next to it. And what a new moon is, since I know that you don't know as much about astrology as some of the other students that might be watching this, but what a new moon is when the sun and the moon are in conjunction. They're right next to each other. And as you can see from here, they're both sitting at 11 degrees and 30 minutes of Aries. And so one thing that's really important about this new moon is that this is the start of the astrological year when the new moon in Aries. And so with that, why that's important is because for people in our circle who like to create intentions, who want to manifest, who are trying to build something in their life, you want to follow the cycles of the moon. You want to set your intentions at the new moon. You want to come back and check around the full moon, which would be 6 months later, to see how you're progressing, see what you've already manifested, and then decide where you want to go from there. So when you have the astrological new year happening, that's really important, because this is kind of like, you know, a New Year's resolution, right? So let's look at all of the energy that right now is sitting in Aries. And we're going to start with Mercury, which is at 9 degrees. That's right next to the moon. And then the sun. We have Chiron, Pallas Athena, and Vulcan. So all of this energy together, what this is saying is that right now is the time. And by the way, before I even explain that, the new moon is falling in the 4th house. So the 4th house is the house of your chart that is going to tell you what is happening in the areas of your life around home, family, security, right? This is, and when I say family, this could pertain to things that happened in your childhood if you're looking at a natal chart. When you're talking about a transit chart, more importantly, or more not more importantly, more specifically, it's going to be covering those areas that I already mentioned, meaning security, your house that you actually live in, you know, your family, anybody that lives in your house with you, even if they are not related to you by blood. And so when you have a new moon in this area, it's saying that there's something that's happening around home and security issues for everyone that probably needs to have sort of a reboot, a redo, a refresh, right? And it is going to be centered around what is it that you need, what is it that you want in terms of healing. And the reason that I say that is because of the nodes. We have the North Node in Taurus in the 6th house, which is the house that governs what you do every day in terms of work, the service that you provide to others. If you don't work, let's say you're a stay-at-home mom, you provide service to your family each day by cleaning the house and doing things like that. But this is also the area that talks about your health and well-being as well. And so, you know, having the North Node here, especially with Uranus, and I spoke about this in the video that I'm posting today, which as we're filming this is currently March 9th, 2022. So I'm posting a video today, which is the full moon in Virgo video, where I speak about this particular aspect between the North and South Node in the 12th and 6th houses being in conjunction to Hygeia and Uranus. Why is that important? What I spoke about in the last video is that, you know, if you are someone who has a health issue that you've been ignoring, now is the time to do whatever it is, take whatever steps it is that you need to take to get yourself healthy. Especially if you've already had your doctor give you advice or tell you, hey, you need to stop smoking, you need to stop drinking, you need to lose weight, you've got to, you know, start extra, you've got to do something, right? Something to get your health back on track. And you're like, well, I don't really want to, you know, I'm just not ready yet. Well, with this particular transit happening here, particularly with the vertex in the 8th house, and this is the exact position almost that it was for the last video, the full moon in Virgo video. These 3 houses are considered the houses of ill fortune or, you know, bad omen in a chart. And this particular aspect right here, this particular placement vertex in the 8th house, this can talk to surgery. So if you have a health concern that you've been ignoring, you know, there's a possibility that there could be sudden, you know, surgery or upset. Also, another thing that I want to point out, the vertex is almost exactly in opposition to Pluto, which means what if it's actually worse? What if you've received numerous warnings and you even watched my last video and you're like, I still don't feel like making those changes, right? Now we're coming up on this video and you're coming up on an opposition between Pluto to the vertex being in the 8th house, which is the house that has to do with like death and endings and transformation. Pluto is the planet that typically rules that house, being in opposition and having to do with like your values and things, right? This, to me, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to be like dire about anything, but I'm saying this is like a very dangerous aspect, right? This is very dangerous here. So for all of those people out there who have health issues that you have been ignoring, go to the doctor. Do whatever it is that they've been advising for you to do, you know, get medical attention. However, if you have some sort of, you know, unexpected health issue that comes up, where there's a doctor or somebody that is advising that you do something about this, and you have this weird intuition that says, I don't know, I'm just not sure, follow your intuition and do your research. I cannot stress this enough. And the reason that I'm even bringing it up a second time is because this is something that's actually affecting me personally right now. And it has to do with the surgery that I had almost a year ago, where I woke up in the middle of the surgery, in the middle of the procedure. And I am now still having to fight with the doctor's office about the fact that I woke up in the middle of this procedure, because this doctor's office wants me to come back in to have them do do more work on me, and I am scared. I am scared. I don't want to do it. So I cannot stress enough. If you are feeling the way that I'm feeling, if you are someone like me, and I am a Taurus, which is why I'm even saying this, okay? If you're someone like me and there's someone who is saying, look, you need to get this done, and you feel like, you know, you're not sure about it, there's something about it, your intuition is telling you something is off, follow your intuition. It will not lead you wrong, okay? And also, with this new moon in Aries, it's very important to speak up for whatever it is that you need in order to get yourself healthy. And I'm talking about mental, emotional, and physical health and well-being. It is so important right now for everybody. This is a very big focus right now of this new moon, but for people who are Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo, because that is the fixed sign axis, being that the nodes are you know, in the fixed signs right now, as well as Sagittarius or Sagittarius rising, okay? Or if you have a lot of Sagittarius placements, it's very important that you pay attention to your health right now, okay? So beyond that, so now that we've talked about that, if it's not a health issue that you are concerned about, for some people, and I know for you in particular, Kenyanda, this is actually a career issue. This is talking for you. This is all about, what do you want to do? What are your hopes and dreams? What are the things that you want to do with your life? Like, where do you want to go with your life? What do you want to create is very important for you. And so we're going to actually move on. Oh, and one more thing that I want to say about this before we move on to Kenyanda's reading. With the North Node in Taurus in the 6th house, it's saying that you need to focus on your health first and everything, even if you make others uncomfortable, or you have to make yourself uncomfortable to do it. And when I say that, what I mean by that is when you have to speak out. If you have to speak out against somebody who is either very knowledgeable, very popular, or, you know, forceful, whatever the case may be, if you have to speak against them, you know, now is the time to do it, even if it makes you uncomfortable, and even if it makes them uncomfortable. It will be to your benefit, and that's what you need to focus on, especially you, Kenyanda, because you are a Taurus as well. You're not just a Taurus, you're Taurus sun, you're also Taurus rising, which is what I want to talk about now as we move into your reading, your transit chart. So if you can see my cursor here, you have the sun in Taurus at 21 degrees and Taurus ascending at 12 degrees. So you basically have the sun rising in your natal chart. That means that your personality is just very joyful, sunny, happy, like you just radiate love everywhere you go. And that's something that everybody who knows you personally knows that about you. You do have your moments where you can have like harsh times and, you know, harsh words that come out of your mouth. And the reason that I say that is because you do have Lilith in the 3rd house in Cancer down here in conjunction to Jupiter and your moon, which is also in Cancer. And the reason that that's important is because of the way that the transits are hitting your chart right now, and in particular where the vertex is hitting your chart in the transits. But before we want to look at the transiting vertex, I want to look at the natal vertex in your chart, because this is actually very important for what's happening right now and what you want to do in terms of your career, because your vertex happens to be in Libra, which means your anti-vertex happens to be in Aries. And right now the full moon, or excuse me, the new moon is in Aries. So if you notice this screenshot that I have right here, what it says, if you have the anti-vertex in Aries in your natal chart, it will draw to you those whose drive and vision motivate you to follow your dream. At times of important changes in your life and or during moments of crisis, those who have the sign of Libra, AE, you know, Nay from Zooming Moms, #1, okay, and or the planet Venus, that would be me and all of this spiritual stuff that I've been teaching you. And I know that like that was how you were able to save the money for your house and everything, okay? So again, I'm going to read that sentence over for you. It says, at times of important changes in your life and or during moments of crisis, Those who have the sign Libra and or the planet Venus strongly placed in their natal chart will entice you to meet new people and learn new ways of perceiving the world that completely change your understanding of life. So that means Zooming Moms is going to be something that's very important to you right now. This a reading right here is something that's going to be very important to you right now, because I'm going to actually give you a power day, which is going to be the day for you to speak up. And if you try to speak up on that particular day and it doesn't work out for you, then you can use the next day to speak up to the people using the plan that you have. Okay. But what I want you to do is actually make an appointment for the day after the power day, and you can cancel that appointment if you are able to talk the other person into what you want on the power day. And that'll make sense when I get to it more, okay? So what we're looking at right now is where the new moon is falling in your chart, and it is falling in your 12th house of dreams. This is also the house of things hidden, things that are going on in the background. And we already know why that's important for you right now, because you happen to have Mercury in your 12th house. And all of this new moon energy in Aries is triggering your Mercury right there. So it is making you basically have to plan out and strategize all of those things and reasons why you cannot work in a healthy way each day. Okay, all of the things that are missing, all of the things that need to be fixed, and all of the reasons why you would be the better choice as well. Okay, now that is where the new moon is landing. But what's actually most important in this chart is where Earth is transiting your chart, because everything that you do right here with this new moon in Aries is going to manifest over here in your 6th house. This is the house that has to do with your daily activities, how you are of service to others, and your own health and well-being. Okay, now you happen to have Pluto in this house natally, and having Pluto in the 6th house natally can talk about having sudden health issues, and especially with Vertex being there in conjunction with that, sudden health issues that come out of the blue. You do not want to have something like that happen to you, and you happen to have the North Node in your 6th house natally anyway. Even though in the transits, the North Node in the transits are coming through your 7th house, your natal North Node is in the 6th house. So even though it's still, not happening by transit, it's still affecting you, because this is already something that you need to be aware of for yourself personally all the time anyway. Okay, is that you have these sudden health issues that can come upon you. So number one, that to me is the most important thing, where I say this new moon is an opportunity. I say it up here. This new moon is an opportunity to transform your reputation and career, and you do have friends who can help. This is also, sorry, I skipped to the next page. This is also the time for you to pay attention to your partnerships, all of the problems that are in those partnerships, find solutions that make sense, that you can actually act upon and carry out, and plan your strategy at this time. And the reason that I say plan your strategy at this time is because of what is happening on April the 3rd. So this is your power day. This is the day that you want to go to that certain person and you want to say, hey, look, this is what I want. This is, this is why I want it. What do you think? Are you willing to hand this over to me willingly? And if that person says no, that's where you've got this appointment on the 4th, which is the day after this particular day right here. You've already got your appointment to go in, and you need to be the one to go in and speak to both times, the 3rd and the 4th. It needs to come from you, and here's why. The vertex in the transits is coming in to make a conjunction to your moon, Jupiter, and Lilith in Cancer in the 3rd house. And right here, you can see from this screenshot, what it says about that is that this will give you a magic touch with the public. You easily understand how to manipulate emotions and are highly responsive to the public mood. Unless other placements negate this, the public will instinctively love you and respond to whatever you offer. Now, I do want to point out, because it does say unless other placements negate this. So your natal placements do pose a little bit of a problem. And this is where you're going to have to be very careful about what you say. Okay. The third house is all about communication. All right. You happen to have Lilith in Cancer in the third house in conjunction to Jupiter, which makes everything bigger and can blow things out of proportion. And the moon, which is all about your emotions and your passion. So if you go in there and you're too passionate and you don't stick to just the facts and just the truth, you might blow things out of proportion, and you do not want to do that. Okay, stick to just the facts, like literally just the facts, ma'am. That's all you want to do. Just the facts, ma'am. All truth and nothing more. Okay. And I think if you do that, it could be very positive. I think on this particular day, I think there's a very good chance you might have some pretty good luck where you may have help the next day. You know what I mean? But if not, you've already got that appointment to do what you got to do. Okay.
Can I interject real quick, or me interjecting and stop something?
Go ahead.
Okay, so because listen, today I was like, my brain was just like going everywhere, right? And it's literally lining up to exactly what you're saying. And I'm sitting in my car, right? And I normally have all my papers in my bag, but I wrote this while at work, because when I'm driving, a lot of my ideas come to me because I'm just blank focusing on me while I'm driving. That's why I love to drive. However, as you're talking, I'm thinking about all the things that I planned today, right? And I look towards the right, okay? And there's this paper here, right? This is this paper. Because I had so many great ideas that I started writing them down.
I love it.
Okay? So we're talking about houses, right? So there's the house, if you can see the house, right?
Yes.
And in the house, okay, we're gonna let me see if I can show you. Okay, so in the house, there's little initials of the peoples and persons that I need to speak to. Okay? And they're all placed where they need to be. Okay? And then it goes on in little areas to say, well, you talk to this person first. Okay? And then if it doesn't go, you go over here to these peoples and persons to make it happen. So all I'm saying is, I had wrote it down earlier, okay? And it's detailed to me, but it corresponds with what you were with what you're talking about, because I have to plan before I initiate the plan, right?
Yes.
So I got to plan. I got to pregame before initiating the plan. Secondly, when we're talking about health, I just made sure that I went down to the county building, because I don't have medical. My husband lost medical when he was terminated, and the whole house needs medical. I've been in some kind of pain, so I'm aware that I need to take care of myself. I don't want to claim it, but it is what it is. I think I'm battling a form of arthritis, or some type of thyroid or something. I don't know. And I need to have that looked at, because again, like you said, my health is very important. I don't want to be in the mix of everything. And because I don't know, and I chose to be blind, turn a blind eye to it and not get it looked at, now I'm hit with sudden medical situations that sit me out. Okay. Then I'm going to go back to Zoomy Moms. Zoomy Moms is very important to me. I have on my sophisticatedly ghetto shirt, which is Zoomy Moms, right?
Yes.
Because in everything that I do, I need to promote my team, my colleagues, and what we have going on, because we are the peoples and persons who's holding each other accountable to make sure that all the things that we are doing come to fruition. Thus, I'm sitting here with another colleague, making sure that these things happen. So I just wanted to, give some confirmation here on what Miss Missy's talking about,
Yes,
Hey.
and I love you. You know that, right? guys, if you need your taxes done, Kenyanda's the girl. Let me tell you, she saved me so much money. Well, I can't, what was it, like 2,000 something? You saved me a bunch of money, right?
Yeah, because it was like
Yeah,
3,000
it
or
was a
something, and
bunch.
we got it down to less than 1,000.
Yes,
So,
it was a bunch. So yeah. Okay,
if your
so
tax person is not working for you, you need a new tax person.
yes, exactly. Okay, so thank you for the confirmation and everything. And as you can see, I'm kind of losing light. So now I'm kind of sitting on my foot, which is a little uncomfortable. So I'm going to say thank you so much for doing this for me. And yeah, I'm going to talk to you after I end the video, but I'm going to say goodbye here. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye.
Thank you.